Hi everyone, it's Kay from the Paper Shed. Hope you're all doing well. I'm back with part 2 of my beginner friendly series of journal making from start to finish. So we covered in the first one how to cover and make a junk journal cover. So we did this one. So we did this one. We made it out of a Amazon envelope. We covered it in the material and I left it there. I then subsequently explained about the soft cover, which I've now sewn up and done part of it. I'm only putting one little signature into this. This was made from a Temu sort of faux, I don't know what that material is, but it's, well, I can show you. It was made from a small version of one of these. So what I did was I took all this part. This then opens up. It's got a pocket inside with a little pen holder and this closure. And I thought it was just the sort of the A4 type size. So what I did was I undid it down here and down here. I took all the stitching out because I needed to cut it down to fit my signatures. So I had to just round the corners of this a little bit. So I took all the stitching out and I've re-stitched it back in. And then I put this pocket on because this is attached to this part and I wanted it attached to the flat part. So I undid it all and I put the pocket on this part, as you can see here. So that was how I made that. And I just put material on because it's felted on the inside. I didn't feel the need to have to cover it all, but I just wanted to just sort of, make a soft cover. And I love the sound of these. They're just so scrummy. I made a pocket for the back, which is quite nice. And I've repositioned the button on the inside so that this is a closure. I've added a pen to this pocket, which will hold a little jotter pad and one signature. So that is the soft cover version of my junk journal. Let me just do that. So I want to put that out of the way and I have no room anywhere. This was the one that we covered, as I said. And yeah, so we made it out of this. We used tape all the way around and then we fabriced it. Okay, so this didn't stick very well. But we're going to be doing something with that spine anyway. I don't like the look of that. They all like it. No, they're not really. Yeah, so that just goes to show that you just need to make sure that you pop those things in. So what I found is when I open the book, I have a crease down here because I didn't put glue into my score line. So when you're using, I mean, we can eliminate that by when we embellish, which isn't an issue. But obviously it bothers me because it didn't work. I subsequently went on to make more that day out of, this was a used book, and put those in perfectly there, and that's covered really lovely. I quite like that cover. I also did one out of scrap card that I'd got in my stash, and again this one was glued down the where's that? There it is, down there, and that one's stuck on perfectly fine. And I then went on to do another one out of some scrap recyclable card, and again I did the glue down into my grooves properly so that I didn't create that lifting of your material. Now there isn't anything that you can really do to amend or fix that because we used glue stick. You just need to make sure that when you're putting the cover on, that you really stretch your material out like this, and then make sure that there's plenty of glue in your score lines for that to adhere to, and it will alleviate those. I mean, as I say, I mean, when it's closed, you can't see it, but obviously when you open it, I know you're looking on the inside, you're not necessarily looking on the outside, but it is an eyesore, and I'm not overly keen. I'm going to use it through this series because I made it for that. So we will see how that goes, and how we get to eliminate it. I might just have to cover the outer part of the spine again, which will re-wet this, and then hopefully we can concentrate on sticking that down. So if you did find that that is part of, you know, when you've gone along with it and you found this, we will be alleviating that throughout the process. So I do apologise that I didn't probably do it or explain it properly in the initial video, but we will go over it. Now, in the initial video, I also said that I would make, sorry, I'm going to be doing the signatures and I've just got all my bits out. I did explain that I didn't very often make fabric covers when I used to do journals before. So I wanted to do one, and I did say that I would. I wanted to make one up for you to show you how you cover this with just, if you didn't want to use material, how to cover it in just paper. And so I picked this pretty paper and I started it. So I've made it out of an Amazon cardboard. Now this is the older type because that's all I had, but it's an A3 older type one, and with an A3 piece you will get all of your pieces out of it with very little waste. And I always keep them together. So what I've done with this one is I've created pockets on either side, because I used to love to do this with my other ones. One, they're a secret feature, so that it's a hidden feature within your book. And two, I just think it gives you an extra element to it. Now, I could decorate this one up and make this a pocket proper, you know, so that you've got a tab on it and everything like that. There's lots of different ways to do it. Now, all you have to do when you're putting your tape all the way around, so all the way around your edges, and then you tape on your middle. So you do your two edges, get your spine in, do your two edges on here, get your spine in, which gives you this. And then to create the pocket, all we do is we just wrap each side separately, but you need to cut your corners in. You need to cut your corners in on all of them anyway, because it stops the rolling of the tape. It really does help with that. So yeah, so we're going to be popping pockets in this one, and I will be showing the process, you know, when we go through the making of this through the series, then I will show you how far I'm getting with my other pieces, so my soft cover and this card cover. But I do love the way and the look of the card covers, and all I've done, as I say, I've left one piece just to show you how easy it is to go together. And because this is quite flimsy, well, it is flimsy-ish. I like to actually make it all black to start with. Now, you don't have to do this part and put the black on. You can literally just go with your colour card and your pattern paper, and you will get the same effect because of the black being. I'll take that away. I'll show you what I mean. You will get this exactly the same effect because of the black tape that you've put on. So you don't need the black card. I have only used the black card to give it an extra bit of strength, and you would just fit it on like that. So I'm going to just quickly glue those in, and so you just put 1, 2 and 3, and I haven't decorated the spine with paper because I quite like it plain. And to be honest, with this size, I'm getting the two pieces out of one sheet. So I haven't got extra of this and I haven't got extra of this without reprinting. And I just didn't want to find something else, to be honest, to go in. And I quite like that look. It's quite a nice look and feel to that. So I'm possibly going to leave the spine So anyway, we're going to glue these in, and while we're on, and we're 10 minutes in already. Oh, that was close. So I'm going to glue these up, and then I just wanted to show you basically what it was all made of and how. Okay, so I'll be back in just a jiff. Okay, so this is the finished cardboard cover, and I do love the way these come out actually. It's quite now very stiff, so that's perfect for a cover. So that's just another option if you don't do material, and you know, it is pretty. We can decorate that up, add our signatures, and then you've already got a really nice journal there. So that's just another option. I will go through, when I start making this in the series, I will actually show you how far I'm coming along with this one as well. So I'm just going to create some signatures, so because I haven't got any made up. I've got a few papers here. I like to use lots of different papers. I haven't got any coffee dyed paper. I've only got a bit of tea dyed left. So I normally, if I'm making any or got any extra pieces over, I sort of signature them up already so that I can, you know, just grab them. So I use sort of antique type papers. This is my Dibby Dabby papers. I like to use these because they're, you know, you can write on them, and it doesn't bother me that they're white either. I mean, you can use cream card, but then you will get a different sort of colour base from your Dibby Dabbying. And I prefer this Dibby Dabby to Coffee Stain, to be honest. This is a antique paper that I had off Amazon a while ago, and the rest of it, I bought loads of it, and the rest of it I've left in the UK, unfortunately, so I haven't got any of that left. So that's a bit of that. That was a bit of music papers that I've got left there. So I also want to use envelopes. So I've just got these envelopes. What size are they? They are almost 10. So 9 3/4 by 7. So they're 10 by 7, more or less, almost. I'm going to use a couple of these in my next project because I'm short on different papers. This is an A5. I had it from Temu in a pack, and there's some quite nice papers there, and I do like the colour of it. I also like this decorative edge, and we'd have to use it that way for smaller pages, but I don't mind that either. It came smaller than I imagined. These were from a Temu pad, and they come in pads like this, and they are handy. They're double-sided, so they are quite nice. So I thought we'd use some of those. That's another pad. These are some antique papers that I bought from Temu as well. I like this one because it's quite light. I have got a darker one, but I don't know where the paper is. And then these are some digitals that I've actually printed off and cut down. And so I've just done some sort of, you know, antique invoice type printing with some different options on the back of those. So we'll be using that. I've got some music paper, some piano paper, and then that's my tea dye. I've got ordinary lined paper, which I don't always use. I don't like the starkness of the white, but I've got graph paper, which is white, and I don't mind the odd piece, but I don't particularly like it in my journals. But, you know, we'll see how we go. I just like to have the option, and I do like graph paper in my journals. So I'm going to start by just halving everything. So I'm just literally going to fold everything that I've got in half, like so. And then I'm going to make the piles, and we'll just make some quick signatures up. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do it off camera because obviously it's very boring to watch me just folding everything in half. So we're going to do that, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've folded everything that I've got. Let me just throw that in the bin. So I've got lots of different papers here. I found some vellum, well, not vellum, tracing paper. So I've actually got 10 different items here. Now, you don't necessarily have to do that, and I'm not going to. I'm going to make them different but similar. So I have a 10 one that I'd already done with some of my Dibby Dabby papers, but I haven't got any of that left. So I might have to Dibby Dabby a bit just for colour scheme, but I'm not sure. I don't know whether I'll do that or not. So I have 10 in there. And to make these up, obviously, we just, you know how to make a signature, I suspect, but we will go through it. But first, I just want to talk about signatures, because there's sort of a rule of thumb, but there isn't, if that makes sense. Because it all really depends on what you're going to use your journal for. If you're making, this one's a two signature journal, and no, this is a 4. No, it can't be a 4. Oh, it is. It's 4 smaller ones. So I've literally put 7 in each of those, and I think that's going to be too much for this. Although I want to use this as a journal, as a notebook journal, maybe. I don't know. This is my point, though. If I was to put 4 signatures in there, so I mean, you've got to think that my rounded part of that isn't very, very wide. Now, it can become wider because this will, because it's a soft journal, it will give to create me a bit more, but it will notch your papers down a little bit. But we'll see how that goes. I'm following along with Mandy, so I'm following her rule of thumb at the moment with those 2. So for this soft cover one that I've created, I literally have one with 15 sheets in. I might put a couple more in, because this is more of a writing journal, or will end up more of as a writing journal anyway. So I'm probably going to put the 1 signature in this and put 20 sheets in, which will give me 40 pages and 80 sides to write on. I am going to embellish some of it, but I'm not going to overly embellish this one. So, as I said, I don't think there's really a rule of thumb. It's all personal preference. And as I showed you in the last video, the first ideas book, I followed along with Miss P. Now, when I first came to do it, I'd not done an ideas book before, so I never really understood how quickly this grows, right? So this is way too big for me. I can't handle the weight of it. I can't look through it properly because it's all too full. And each signature in this one has only got 4 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my signature there. That's one signature, and it's only 4 pages big. 4 pages per signature. And when I first came to do this, following along with Miss P, I thought 4 pages is never going to be enough. And as you can see, this one's only got 2. That's only got half a signature done. This one's only got the front done. And this one's still got half here. So there's still quite a lot of pages that are empty in this, and I can't fit any more into it. So it was way, way overly ambitious. And this is why I want to create something that is going to be more manageable for me. I love the cover, but I definitely am going to take that apart and redo. So it's not to say that, Fiona was wrong in her estimate. She wasn't. I was wrong in the way that I perceived it. And I think this is where journal making comes into it, because I think unless you have an understanding of how the pages grow and the ephemera that you put in and everything else, it sort of throws it all out. So as I say, this one's only having 2 in, but these pages, there's 10 into each page of this, and this is to allow that one to grow with embellishments and ephemera. So I'm thinking along the lines of that, even though I want to try and make a couple of ideas journals which are going to need less pages because the embellishments are going to be over embellished. No, that's the wrong thing to say. I don't know how to explain it. With an ideas book, you're going to need less pages because what's going on the pages is going to be over and above what you'd put in a journal, because you wouldn't stack it like that. So I think with an ideas book, you need to have a few signatures in there, but very little paper. So 3 to 4 sheets of paper folded in half to create your signature. That's going to give you enough to create your ephemera and your ideas to go in there. But of course, with an ideas book, you see, you're not going to, sorry about the prayer, you're not actually going to do the same amount of embellishments in a journal. So that's why you need less room. But anyway, I think for a rule of thumb, if you sort of want to guide, if you like, I've sort of done my own sort of guide while I've been thinking about it. So one, I would use anything from 4 to 20 sheets in a signature. So that would be my signature guideline. So for instance, for a one signature, I would use anything from 15 to 20 sheets. For two signatures, I would use anything from 10 to 15 sheets. For three signatures, I'd use anything from 8 to 15 sheets, depending on how big your spine is. I think that 15 is too big. I think that needs to be, maybe 15 in three signatures is way too big. Although in a journal it wouldn't be. No, I think I'll stick with that. And then for a 4 signature journal, I think you can do anything from 5 to 7 sheets in each signature, and that would be enough. But that would all then depend on how much you actually embellish your project. So if you're a big embellishment fan, then I think it's different. And I think you have to gauge that once you understand what you're doing with your journal, or what you're creating your journal for. Does that make sense? So as a spine rule, it's really hard to say. With a one signature, for a one signature spine, I would do anything from half to a full inch. On a 2 signature spine, I would do anything from 1 to 1.5 inch. For a 3 signature spine, I would do anything from 1.5 to 2.5 inch. And for a 4 signature spine, I would do anything from 2 to 3 inches. I would never use any more than 20 pages per signature on anything, on any project. I wouldn't go any bigger than a 4 signature, and I wouldn't go any bigger than a 3-inch spine. That's just my personal preference. You may have different preferences as you work your way along. You won't know that. I mean, I've been crafting for absolutely years. You know, I started off scrapbooking, card making, then I made wedding invitations and birthday invitations. Then I made photo albums and, created that way. And then that got me into making journals, which I love. I absolutely adore making journals. It's one of my favourite things to do, and I love it. So I've made lots of different things in the past. So I've been at this quite a long time, and it's only just dawning on me, really, from making that ideas book initially, that, your thought process isn't the same. When you're making an ideas book, it's not the same as making a journal, because your process will be different and the way that you fill it up will be different. And that's why I'm going to have to take that apart, because I can't cope with it the way that it is. So I think if you sort of understand the process behind it from the start to the finish, you understand where to go. When I first started, I would buy a digital kit. I'd print the kit out. I'd make my journal cover and my signatures. I would put all my ephemera in, and that would be my journal. There was no real, well, there is always a thought process behind it, but I think when you're following with a kit, it's different because you've got pieces already there that can be added. And I think because I've been sort of making lots and lots of ephemera lately, because I wanted to create a stash, a stash of ephemera, so that I can just think, oh yeah, that'll go nice there, that's go nice there, blah blah blah. When you're making, it's become a more of a thought process behind each piece that I'm going to do or create. So I think if you get into that mindset when you come to create, I don't think you'll go far wrong. So I'm hoping that that bit of information, I know that it's my process and my thought process. Your thought process may be different, and you may be happy to put 30 sheets in a signature. It's an entirely personal preference, and it also is entirely on what you're creating in your journal. So, if you take that in or bear that in mind when you come to create, I'm sure you'll get it right from the beginning. So I've got all of my different papers all laid out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to randomly pick several to make up the signatures. Now I'm going to stick with the rule of thumb of 10 because that's an average size, and then we can always alter it as we come to fill our journal covers. So I'm going to start just sort of picking 10 random sheets. Now I like to sort of have a pattern and a plain, but I don't sort of want to do all of the same thing. I'd like them to be slightly different, and I'm not really looking at putting 10 different pieces in. I just want to be able to, I'm using this is tracing paper. It's a thick, but it says 100, but I'm sure it's thicker than that. It's thicker than copy paper. Okay. I don't know, I've lost count. I've lost count already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 7, 7, 8. 8, 9. Put an envelope in the middle. That'll make a nice piece. Okay, so that's another 10. And then we're going to start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. And I'm going to do another envelope inside there. I like to have something specific in the middle, especially if I'm doing a journal. I like the middle to have something, neat and tidy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, and another envelope for the middle. So we're sort of getting there. You can check, so you sort of know how to do it. You know, just create your 10 sheets or however many sheets you're planning on doing in your journal, and that's literally all you do. So I'm going to carry on with this, putting them into my 10s, just so that I've got a collection of them, and because some of my covers are shorter pieces. So yeah, I'm going to carry on, make up several signatures so that I've got them all ready, and I'll come back. Okay, so I've done all my piles. This is the bit that I've got left of the excess that I've already folded, and we've managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 12 signatures there. I mean, obviously I'm not going to use all those in here, but we'll see what we get through. And all we need to do is, you can just go through, make sure all your pieces are upright, and then allocate it into the parts that you want it to be into. So I don't really want to change anything with that one. So in this particular one, we're going to be doing 10 sheets of 3 signatures. So we need 3 for in there. So I like that one, and that one. So there's my 3 signatures for that one. In this one, I want to do 2 of 15 to 20 sheets. So we won't do that one as yet. And in this one, I'm only going to do 2. Should I do 2 10s? I'll do 2 10s in this one because I quite like this one. I don't really want to use that pink on the front. There, those 2, quite nice. Okay, so we've got the 2 signatures for that one. Those signatures are in, and then we've got a 2 signature here that we want either 15 or 20 sheets in. Now I'm using this as an ideas book, so I think they need to be smaller. So I'm thinking that they could just be plain sheets. They could just be plain copy paper sheets, rather than different papers like this, because it doesn't need to be different papers like this. So yeah, I'll have to have a think about that because of what I want to use it for. And I probably have got some sheets for the blue journal. I'm thinking that I've lost a journal, but I don't think I have. How many have I got? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, this was my blue. Yeah. So I'm thinking that I'm going to use sort of dibby-dabby papers maybe, and for this ideas one, because I don't need it to be anything special. So I don't want to use specialist papers because I'm using it as an ideas journal. So I don't need it to be, you know, this sort of paper or music paper or anything like that. I just need it to be plain coffee dyed paper. And at the moment I haven't got any. So that's our signatures and the process behind it, the thought process behind it, and the way that you think about what you're putting in your journal determines on from this stage onwards. So it, you know, because obviously you don't need to put this sort of paper into an ideas book. You just need plain sheets because you don't need to decorate your pages. So that's the signature process, and I hope the information's been helpful. If you've any questions, please do ask. It's the only way that we and beginners learn, and you know, we can't answer unless you ask the question. So please do ask any questions. Go across, support Cara Renee and Mandy at Sunflower Indoors. Cara is Be Reborn Art and Healing, and she's got a fantastic series actually for beginners at the moment, so go out and check her out as well. And yeah, have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.